What's up, everybody? It's your boy J Rock, and I am coming to you with another edition of the J Rock Show, along with my co host Siege. How are we doing today, my man?
Oh man, we're doing good. We're living. It's Friday. Weekend's coming up. Yeah, man, I'm just excited to be here. What do you got on the docket for me today?
So, today we're going to do another draft format, just doing a starting five and a sixth man, but we are only going, the stimulation is we are only going to draft one player from each decade, and the decade that they are accounted for is the decade that they were drafted in. So, for instance, Michael Jordan, he played in the 80s and 90s. He was drafted in 84, I believe. Yeah, 84. So he will count for the 80s because that's when he was drafted.
All right,
So,
I like it. I like it.
spice things up. And did you go first last time?
I think I might have. You take the first pick this time.
All right. So, yeah, I'm going to go MJ. I got to go MJ.
Fair enough. So that's your '90s pick.
80s.
'80s, my bad. '80s,
You're
'80s.
good.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah.
Um, for my, I'm trying to think about this strategically. When was he drafted? I want to make sure I get the decade right. All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna take Kobe for my '90s pick. That's my '90s pick. Give me Kobe Bryant out the gate. Um, yeah, Kobe's my '90s pick.
All right. I like that. I like that.
Got to get him to match up with Michael. Be a good two guard right there. Really lead my team. Be that driving force. So that's got to be my first pick. That's my guy.
Oh, yeah. And like right at the end of MJ's career, when, those two would match up, those were always, great matchups when those two faced each other.
That they were.
I need to go with a feel like I need to go with a big presence here. Hmm. You know what? I'll take Shaq. I'll take Shaq. The first pick in the 92 draft as my second pick. So for my 90s pick, I'll go Shaquille O'Neal.
All right, Michael and Shaq. That's not a bad start, but for my 2000s pick, crazy to me, he's fallen to the fourth pick in our draft. But I'm gonna take LeBron, drafted in '03. That's my guy. Gonna pair him right there with Kobe. I don't care what people say about are their personalities gonna match. They both want to win basketball games. I think the two of them would have been a match made in heaven, to be honest, because the only guy who could work as hard as Kobe did is LeBron James. So for me, it's a match made in heaven. That's my pick there.
Yes, indeed. That would have been a crazy, crazy pairing together. I mean, and the thing about it is, when you look at guys like MJ and Kobe and LeBron, like their workhorse mentalities, like have really been. When you look at the history of the game, it's really been unmatched.
It really has been.
It's
It really
really
has been.
been unmatched. So now I'm going to look at taking a point guard or someone to run point. And was he drafted in 80 or 79? Ooh, he was drafted in 79. Give me Magic Johnson with my third pick. I'll take Magic to run.
He was drafted in '79. That's a great pick.
I
Oh,
know it.
that's a great pick.
I know him and Bird were right on the edge there, and I couldn't remember if they were 79 or 80, so I had to double check on that. But yeah, so
All right, all right.
point. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right, so I've got my probably my two and my three, depending on how my draft shakes out. We might move LeBron to the point, but for my next pick, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 2010s, and there's two guys in my head. Like, the bias in me wants to take my favorite player, but for spacing and shooting purposes, I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go Kevin Durant here for the
Okay,
2010. Was he
okay.
drafted in the 2010s? I believe he was. I think it
Uh,
was like,
no, I think he was.
was he 2009?
I think he was 2007, if I remember correctly. Let me.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right.
Yeah, he was
Yep,
2007.
yep, you were right. Okay, all right, scratch that. So screw my shooting and my spacing. I'm taking Giannis from the 2010s.
All right, all right.
Wow, Kevin Durant really was drafted that long ago. Check that out.
Because he played the one
Feeling
year.
old. Yep,
He played
in
the 1 year in
Seattle.
Seattle before they moved to OKC, and then they drafted Russ as they were moving.
Yep. Damn.
So I got my 2000s through 2020s picks left. So I need a sixth man, probably a two or three. Hmm. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to look at 2020s here. And I think for my sixth man spot, I'm going to take a chance here. Now, it's going to be a totally off the wall. I'm going to take a totally chance here. I'm going to take Victor Wembanyama for my sixth.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
gives you size, versatility, can stretch the floor. Yeah, he hasn't been in the league so long, so it's kind of hard to say if he's going to develop into a true, superstar or not. Yeah, he's had his
Okay.
moments, but I'm more on the potential aspect. And plus, with a lineup like this, he doesn't have that pressure of being the number one guy.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. You're taking the potential with that pick. I'm not opposed to that. For me, so I got the 70s left, I got the 80s left, and I got the 2020s left. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and move LeBron to the point for myself, and Kobe's gonna move up to the three, although he should be interchangeable with this guy I'm about to put in. But so far, I'm picking off of mentality, winning mentality, um, just that general drive and hardness to their game, and just the desire to win. And so this next pick's a no-brainer if I've got to go with guys from the 2020s draft so far. There's two I'm thinking of, but this guy is a little more proven so far, and he seems to have more of the winning mentality. So my two, I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards.
Okay,
I
okay.
really like the intensity and the aggression he plays the game with. Elitely, supreme athleticism, as do the rest of the guys on this team have so far. Elite mentality. They all kind of have that won't stop till they're at the top kind of mentality. So Anthony Edwards is going to be my pick from the 2020s.
Okay, okay. And oh shoot. Can't believe this guy hasn't been picked yet, but I need to go with some shooting. And so I am going to take the baby faced assassin out of Davidson College for my 2000s pick, Stephen Curry.
Great
And
pick.
I am going to I actually think I'm gonna run him out of the two spot. You know, Magic, I think obviously Curry is a better shooter than what Magic was. I mean, but Magic, as a playmaker, I like him better in that one spot. But you can't like not keep Curry shooting out of that lineup.
No, you can't. And you kind of need the shooting, Michael and Magic, not like the best shooters. So you needed that shooting. So I like that pick a lot, space the floor. Wemby can shoot coming off the bench, so that's helpful. I like that pick at Steph, and he's got to make one of our lineups. So let's see. I got the 70s and 80s left. I need a five, and I need a six man. Well, this one's an easy pick for me. Since you already got Shaq, I think this guy is just as good, if not better. To some people, Shaq's my goat at the center position. But from the 80s, I'm going to take Hakeem the Dream, throw him at the five there. Him and Giannis will be interesting. See how they can go about not clogging up the paint too much. But Hakeem's athleticism up and down the floor, coupled with his skill set and his footwork, I think they'll make it work just fine. So I'm going to take Hakeem from the 80s.
I respect that. I respect that. And I believe Shaq was quoted at one time as saying Hakeem was the one player that he could never break mentally. I forgot
Yeah,
where.
yeah.
I know I saw that in a documentary somewhere. I forgot where it was, but I know for a fact he said that. Okay, so as it shapes up now, I'm gonna run Magic at the 1, Curry at the 2, MJ as a 3. You know what? I'll move Wemby into the starting 5 at the 4. I'll start
At the 4, okay. I like it.
because still gives him the ability to stretch the floor, but he doesn't have to be the number one guy on offense, and still feel like I could use one more shooter. And so I'm going to take, for my 2010s pick, take Paul George. Give me some deep
Okay.
and a little bit of shooting off the bench.
All right. I like it. You know what, JR, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't necessarily expect Paul George to make his way into either of these lineups, but I like it. I'm a big fan of Paul George. So I can't go against that pick at all. For my last pick, six man, 70s player, I got two guys I'm really thinking of here. And I'm trying to really decide which one is going to be a better sixth man. Um, I think because we could play small ball with kind of what we got going. LeBron could play the 5, but Giannis can definitely play the 5. We need to give Hakeem a break, move everyone up a little bit. But I don't necessarily want to move people. I don't necessarily want another big man as my sixth man. I think I want someone coming out, scoring, facilitating. So for my 70s draft pick, I think I'm gonna. Was he? I'm blanking. I'm trying to think if this guy was drafted in the 70s or if he just balled out in the 70s.
Who you got in mind?
He was all right. I had John Havlicek in mind, but he was drafted way before the 70s. So I'm gonna go with Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete's gonna be my sixth man off the
Pistol Pete.
bench.
All right, all right. Get you some shooting.
My 70s pick. Yeah, it's helpful. It's helpful. So yeah, that's my lineup right there.
So you got Pistol Pete coming off the bench. You're gonna have LeBron running the 1.
LeBron's running the 1.
Okay. You're gonna have Edwards or Kobe at the 2.
It's interchangeable. They'll just play the wings. We don't have set. LeBron's the point, and LeBron's running the point. Giannis and Hakeem are in the front court, and Anthony and Kobe are my wings. That's all I got really.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, with mine, Curry's obviously, going to be in the starting lineup because, greatest shooter of all time. You can't not do that. But like
Have to.
Magic's playmaking, you can't take him out of that point guard spot. So that kind of sets my 1 and 2 with Magic running the floor and then Curry, being the off guard. And then MJ at the 3 and Shaq at the 5, obviously. But honestly, like you said, Kobe and Edwards being interchangeable, I'd probably look at Wemby and George the same way. Because either
Yeah.
Paul George could be a little undersized for a 4, but I know he's kind of in some small ball lineups played in that situation before. So for this scenario, though, I think I'm going to go back to what I originally had. I'm going to run Wemby as my sixth man and Paul George at the 4. I give me some versatility there.
I like it. I like it. Yep.
So yeah, everyone, Drop it down in the comments and thread below who you think got the best of the matchup here and who would win a 7-game series. And Siege, as always, thank you for joining me on the show today, my brother.
It was a pleasure as always, J Rock.
Thank y'all for tuning in for this week's episode of the J Rock Show. And as always, see the game, be the game.